So I'm recording again. And now we're going to talk about the instructional policy. And some of the key things. The instructional policy is a really big document. So I suggest you kind of just take your time and look at it at your own leisure. So let me pull that up. So again, it is in Schoology. If you go to Schoology right here, it can change. It is a working document, but it's kind of like the rules that we have for the class, right? Occasionally, sometimes, I'll have to kind of refer to like, hey, this is part of our policy. Sometimes I've had some parents and students like hold me to it too, like, hey, Mr. You said this. I'm like, oh yeah, oh crap, you're right, yes. I do need to do that. So it's just a way to keep all of us honest, right? So anyway, that's what we have. Let me go through it. So something I do care about. I mean, it's not like, okay, we just do it and here it is and I kind of ignore it. It is kind of our guiding principles for the class. So again, here's my name, here's my email address, here's my Zoom link. So you guys have the Zoom link in a lot of different places. Office hours. I mentioned this in the video, my introduction video. So if you do watch my introduction video, I do talk about office hours. I'm only going to be available, well, I should say only, mostly I'll be available in the mornings. That's going to work best for me. So 8:15 a.m. So if you do have any burning questions, maybe before we have a test, actually this probably works really well because if we have a test, because we're A period, right? And that's the first period on Tuesday, Thursdays. So this probably works pretty well for you guys if we do in the morning. But if you do want to meet the night before, or if you have any burning questions, I could be available. It's just the only things that, remember, I do have 2 small kids. Usually I kind of step away from my home office around 5:30 p.m. We do dinner, maybe we go to the swimming pool if it's hot outside, we play, then I get the kids ready, do my bath, read a story, and my wife and I, we kind of divide and conquer. Maybe I put my daughter down or she puts the son down, or vice versa. By the time it's 8 o'clock, I'm pretty wiped out. So yeah, so it might be tough for me to do a regular office hours, especially if my son's being a little difficult because he's now at that age where he likes to push our buttons. So I think it's just safer to do the mornings. He also goes to preschool. His preschool is a first-year preschool, and it's under a daycare kind of designation. So he actually could go to a live preschool, which is kind of nice because I would not want to pay money for a Zoom preschool. High school is a little different, I think, because we're a little more transient and we can spread germs more easily. But I think it's a little safer. But anyway, I digress. I'm available in the mornings. There we go. Okay, let's keep moving. So the textbook again is right here. Other resources we might use, the College Board has great stuff, especially when we start doing AP review. So my plan is to try to get all the content done by about middle of March or end of March, and then use April for AP review. Again, we'll see how the AP is going to look. That could definitely change. But when we do start doing AP review, we start using a lot of great stuff on the website, and you can do searches and stuff like that. There's another website called albert.io. I haven't really used that too much, but actually I think I did get some materials there for, I was tutoring some students for the AP Calculus exam last spring. So you have that. Zoom expectations, obviously be on time, which you guys were. Be presentable, looks like you guys are. Obviously be responsible, be proactive, be mindful. So right now it's a lot of me talking, but you guys are going to be interacting with each other. So I just want to make sure you guys, just use common sense and, work well with each other. Absences. So it could happen. I mean, again, we're doing this remotely. So like I remember back in the day, we'd have absence for sports, or maybe, you're doing a college visit, stuff like that. You can still do that stuff and still be on the class, I guess. I don't think we'll have as many conflicts because so many things are shut down. But if you're not feeling well, or emergencies do happen, or somehow you just can't be available, that's totally fine. Just let me know. I do record these. We do take attendance, as you know. And if you ever need to see me offline, like, okay, like, hey, I wasn't feeling so hot and I can't make class, and I could totally catch you up on what you missed. But I'll do videos as well. Grading, it's kind of a very generic grading system, but there will be homework. Homework will be video lessons, Google Forms. So basically your first homework is that. That's my introduction video, but I'll have like math videos and actually be asking math questions. There'll be worksheets and textbook problems I'll put as well. And homework, generally will happen 3 times a week. That we do on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. So obviously today's Tuesday. Our first homework's due Thursday. And then after Thursday, that homework will actually be due Monday. So you'll have the weekend to do it. And then on Monday, if you look at the schedule, the daily schedule, Monday's for asynchronous learning. What that means that's time and space for you to actually do some extra work. Because it's an AP class, I am going to have to give you guys some extra work to do. That's just the reality. It's a lot of material, and we have to get through it. And we're only meeting twice a week. Usually we meet 3 or 4 times a week in a normal school year. So there will be some videos you'll have to watch, and the videos will be, I don't know, we'll see how they go. I have old videos, but I'm going to make new ones because I just feel like I should. I'll try to make sure they're not too long, but they can be a bit lengthy, and I might maybe put them in parts so you can take little breaks. But on those Mondays, whatever videos I have you watch, there'll be a Google form that goes with it, and that will be due on Tuesdays. So I'll put it all in Schoology. It'll be all very clear what you have to do. But yeah, combination video lessons, videos and Google Forms will probably do on Tuesdays, because I'll assign that. You'll watch those on Monday, and I'll put I'll put them up even earlier than Monday. Like I'll make sure everything's up early, so you can get ahead if you want, but you have that time and space to do them on Mondays. Yeah, after class on Tuesdays, I'll assign worksheet and textbook problems, maybe both or one or the other. That we do Thursday, and after Thursdays again, be more worksheet textbook problems that we do on Monday the following week. Expectations: do watch video lessons, take good notes. You have the note template now, so you have that for you. There'll be Google Forms that go with the video lessons. There'll be some worksheet textbook problems. Make sure you attempt them seriously. Make sure your work is organized. When you upload your work, you're going to upload it through Schoology. Please, 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 please try to put them in order. That will be really easy to do. I'm not going to do hard copy submissions of homework. So I think just this, I don't want to ask you guys to come to campus. I think it's just easier to just do it all in Schoology. If you are having tech issues, let me know. We'll work something out. Or maybe if it is easier to drop off a homework assignment, I'll do it on a case-by-case basis. But for the majority, let's just upload stuff and make sure they're in order, and try to put it all in one single PDF. Thank you for most of you guys who did that. If you didn't, I think I reminded you to do that, and you did. But if you use a single PDF, that just makes my life a lot easier, and just easier to download, and easier for you to upload too, right? Homework, I'm not going to be too picky about it. As long as you're getting it done, and it looks like you took a serious effort there, and it's a way for you to practice and learn, right? You should get full credit. Occasionally, I might pick once we get to more advanced stuff, and I really have to look at your accuracy, I might pick 1 or 2 problems. As long as it looks okay, it's fine. If you do have some issues or it didn't go so well, I might ask you to redo it just so you can get full credit. I don't anticipate homework to be a way to ding you, like, oh, you got 3.5 out of 5 points or 4 out of 5. Honestly, I don't have the time or patience, and I just don't think it's really, pedagogically, I think it's really for you to learn, right? The grade is more of a byproduct. Don't worry about the grade, but I do have to have a grade to hold you accountable. That's just the way school works. I mean, unfortunately, it's somewhat transactional, but still, I want to be transformational too. I want you to learn and become a better math learner and enjoy the stuff you're doing. So that's homework. 20% is collaborative work. Collaborative work is going to be the weekly discussion post, because as you're collaborating with your classmates, you're sharing, you're responding to other people's responses, and the problem sets we do during classes. The problem sets we do won't be independent. You're going to be doing in groups, and I'll be hopping into the breakout rooms when we have that. And what I will ask is that when we do have problems as we do during class, that one person in your group is responsible for uploading the work. And I'll have a link there for that in Schoology. And and again, if you don't get all the problems, then that's fine. It's for me just to see that you guys are on task and that you guys understood what you're doing. So that's something that we'll do. And the breakout rooms, I'll probably do them randomly in the beginning. If you do have particular groups you like to work with, then we could do that. Or maybe sometimes as I get to know you guys better, I might design the groups. Maybe once I know your strengths and challenges, I could kind of, make sure that I put groups that complement each other. So we'll see. And And actually I lied, we're starting the discussions week 1, not week 2, so that's a typo. Tests. We are gonna have 3 tests. So again, here are the test dates. And again, they could change, but most I'm putting them on Thursdays, and they're spaced out about once a month, roughly. So that's what's happening there. Now, the 15th is gonna be interesting. I know that I've heard some rumors that Sacred Heart might be offering the SAT on the 14th, because I know that pretty much hardly anyone's been able to take it in the year 2020. If you're in that boat and you are doing the SAT on the 14th, let me know, and maybe we can be somewhat flexible about this test date, because that would be a lot to do an SAT and then to study for my test. So I do want to be mindful about that, because I understand that we might be hosting it, because I know a lot of schools, and I know like it got canceled last Saturday for some people. But yeah, we'll have 3 tests. So that's a big part of your grade. But don't worry about like if a test doesn't go well, because what will happen is that I will allow you to retake exams, or not retake, but to get points back. Let me rephrase that. So if you happen to score less than 70%, like let's say you have like 50 or 60% on a test, I'll let you do a revision. What I mean by a revision is for you to kind of go through your mistakes and submit your and make a video discussing your mistakes. That's something I found that works really well when you actually have to talk through it. Now, if I do feel that maybe just redoing the entire test, like if the test really didn't go well and you should just redo an entire test, we can do that too. But that is a lot of time and work for both parties, for you and me. So I prefer maybe we just do as a video revision, and I'll explain the details if you qualify for that. And I will bring your grade up to a 70%. So if you think about it, yeah, I mean, you shouldn't get worse than 70% on your test grade, right? So that's 42 out of 60 there. And if you get 20 and 20 on homework and collaborative work, you're finishing with at least a B or B minus in the class. So don't worry about the grades. It's just a byproduct. I want to make sure that you guys achieve mastery. But for the test, they are open note, obviously, so I don't care. You can use your calculator, that's fine. I prefer you don't talk to each other. So you are going to come into the Zoom room, right? And what I'll do is I'll put everyone in their own breakout rooms. And I'll stay present, so if you have questions, you come back to the main room. I'm not going to get spying. I'm not going to like jump in like, oh, Teddy, Emily, sorry, I just see you 2 guys right below me. Like, what are you doing? Like, I'm not going to be doing that. That's not right. I want to respect your privacy. But, it's an honor code in some ways, right? Like, I'm going to give you that respect. You respect me by just, doing the test on your own. And then you will upload your work. So the way the tests are going to go, I hope we don't run into problems. So I'm going to show you, let's see here. I'm going to go to my archives. Where are the archives? So I taught a summer physics class, as I mentioned. There it is. And here's the first test we did. So this little puzzle piece, that's kind of the assessment tool they have. It actually worked really well. I didn't do it in the spring, and it was awful, the other tool they had. But this was pretty good. And oops, you're not supposed to see those people's grades. Okay. Anyway, so the way I've designed this, I did it as a combination of multiple choice and some free response questions. Okay, it looks like I had a lot of multiple choice here, actually. But some of the multiple choice I actually had to work through problems, though. And actually, I should probably do this as a preview. Hold on. It's a little slow right now. Cancel, come on. I'll click the back key. Let's try this one more time here. Okay, questions. Here we go, preview. So it's going to look like this on your end. So it will be timed, of course. Now, if you do have extra time, let's talk about that. I'll work with you if you have to take it during a different time or period, and the ASC can help with proctoring it because they are employed at the school and they got to be doing something, right? So if you do have a ASC accommodation, just shoot me an email or we talk offline. I'm probably going to go in and find out who are my ASC students anyway. And we can work something out. Maybe if you want to start early in the morning because we are A period. So I'm totally cool with that. I could be available. And even if I'm holding office hours, I can put you in a breakout room. So that's totally fine. Or if you have another day or time that works, we'll negotiate that. But you can see here I have the questions. And like this is physics, by the way. So you can see like here's like a fill in the blank. You can see like right here is a multiple choice question. You know, the AP, it does have multiple choice if we go back to the normal way. You can see that some of these problems, you have to kind of show some work. Some of these problems are not like this one here, number 15. I asked someone to kind of find the time it took for a ball to land on the ground. So the other thing I ask my students to do as well is that after you submit this test, I'm also going to ask you to take pictures of your work and scan it and upload it to Schoology as well. And I'll have a separate link for that. That way, if you miss this problem, because what if you make a bunch of carry stairs and you miss like a bunch of questions, all of a sudden you have a really low grade. I want to make sure that I give you partial credit. So do submit your work so I can give you partial credit. But also I need to make sure that you did the work. So if you don't have any work to back up your answers, and I know it took work to do it, I'm not going to give you full credit either. So so that's how we're going to do tests. We're going to do it on Schoology. It'll look like this. But in addition to just submitting answers by multiple choice or fill in the blanks, you're going to also take pictures of your work. That way I can give you the proper credit. So that's how that will go. And don't be alarmed. Some people got like 30, 40% on their test. After looking at their work, they got 80, 90%. So don't be alarmed that, oh my God, I'm like failing the class. That's not going to happen. I'll look at your work and I'll make a quick update. So, but it is to your advantage to submit your work, right? So that's how tests will go. Teaching approach, obviously, you know, it's a mixed approach, right? I mean, there's some live stuff that we're doing. There's some video lessons. So I kind of call it the flipped teaching model. Some of those have for Algebra 2. Like I know Lizzie and Connor, you guys have it for Algebra 2. We're going to be doing some of that, right? I mean, you're going to be doing problem sets. I'm going to have you watch videos. But this is all part of online learning, right? You have to be very flexible. There's a lot of different modes that happen. Class materials, make sure you have all this stuff. That makes sense, right? You don't necessarily need to have a graphic. I mean, you could use Desmos, and that's fine. But you know, if we come back to normal next semester, you know, you can't use Desmos on a test, you know, we'll have you guys use calculators. Or if the AP exam's in person, you know, you're going to have to know how to use graphic calculators. So make sure you're comfortable with that. And we'll do some work with that too when the time comes. Not now, but eventually we will. Probably Unit 2. Obviously, our goals, you know, just follow that stuff, academic honesty, blah, blah, blah. AC accommodations, contact me, let me know. Schoology. Actually, I should probably look at this guy. I actually copied this from a colleague, I have to admit. I think this is what I want. Yeah, obviously I want stuff to be turned. I'll put the dates and times in Schoology, so just pay attention to that. Typical class structure, what we did today, we started class, we did check-in, attendance. Obviously we'll be going over homework and lessons and breakout rooms, and we'll have a checkout at the end. Like check will just be a quick, like just, hey, what did you learn today? Or tell me what you're grateful for, or something like that. Major content areas. This comes from the College Board website for AP Calculus AB. This is what they expect you to know as you come out. We'll revisit this as time passes, but a lot of this is actually what I put under. Hold on. Let me close this down. And go back to our class. Yeah, the big ideas. So a lot of that's right there anyway. The stuff you see here, and there's just more stuff as well. So it's just part of it, to make this a more formal document. So that's instructional policy. Okay. So actually, I'm kind of. The funny thing was, I was kind of worried I wouldn't have enough material for you guys today. I was like, well, am I really gonna, what am I going to do after I finish up with the summer assignment? I'm just let the kids out early? No, I'm not going to let you guys out early. We're going to stick to the plan and do the 75 minutes. And we probably won't have time to, start homeworks. But let's talk about the summer assignment. So we have about 14 minutes. because we go to 10:10 today. So I'm not going to go through the whole thing. Let me open it up here. And actually, what I think I'll probably wind up doing, maybe we'll go through the first page. We could talk about that. But are there any burning questions? And by the way, for your summer assignments, I'm still not done grading them. They're taking me a little bit longer. But I'm going to come to campus on Wednesday and kind of just close myself in my classroom and just do it, get them all done this week. But I'm going to schedule one-on-one appointments with you guys. I did this in other years I've taught AP Calculus. It's a great way for me to kind of get to know you guys on a more one-on-one basis. So I'll probably send as a Google form, or maybe I'll do some other kind of website document, like a scheduling document. And you just kind of just pick a time slot. And we'll do it during office hours. I think that probably makes the most sense. And it'll be little 10-minute slots. But also I'll offer other slots too. And maybe I'll make myself available in an evening. That's fine. I might be a little exhausted, but that's something. So look out for that. I'll send an email and a Schoology update about scheduling a time with me to go over your summer assignment once. And for the most part, you guys should get most of the points, but I am going to kind of look at it for accuracy just a little bit. But before we do all that stuff, is there anything right now that you might remember? They're like, oh, geez, like this was, kind of tough, or I want to know if I got this. Anything that anyone that wants to kind of just ask right now about this that you want me to go through before I kind of show you some stuff here? No? Okay. Well, if anything comes up, just let me know. So let me just talk about the first page with you guys, and then maybe I'll just kind of handpick some other problems. And then by the time we get to 10:10, we'll end for the day. So let me show you some sample answers. This is actually from a student I tutor. She actually lives in Truckee. So I do a lot of remote tutoring as well. And I just figured, hey, she's in AP Calculus. Why not just give her this, right? And see how she does. And it looks like she did pretty well with this. So like this first page is obviously true false questions, and really just making sure that you don't have any misconceptions about common algebra stuff. Like, for example, the first one is true, right? You have the same denominator, duh, then add A and B. 2 was given to you. Obviously, that's false. You can't add the denominators like that. That doesn't make sense. And you give a counter example, like 1/2 plus 1/3 is not 1/5, right? 3, 4, 5 are all false. Remember, exponents are not distributive. You can't do that. And here's some really great counter examples. And by the way, the answers are, were provided to you, right? I mean, here are the answer key. Where is it? Here we go. Yeah, obviously the answers are there. And there's some like revisions or corrections. So coming back to this again, 6 of course is true. 7 is also true, because what if I did the square root of 4? And squared it? Obviously I have 2 squared, and guess what? What's 2 squared? 4. So yeah, of course it's going to equal itself. Now number 8 is actually false. Would anyone like to chime in as to why that's false? Or anyone have a good example they could share with us?
Sorry.
Go ahead, Zoe.
Oh, go ahead. It's all good.
No. Go ahead. You're gonna say it.
Okay. Yeah. I used I set a equal to -7, and then if you square -7 like within the square root, that's positive 49, and then you get 7. So.
Yes, great. Thank you so much, Zoe. And by the way, not to put you guys on the spot, but from time to time I will somewhat cold call on you guys, or maybe I'll just kind of go in order or in alphabetical order for my roster, because I want everyone to kind of contribute. We won't do that today, obviously, because we don't have much time left. But No, I just see this as a way for us to collaborate. Even if you're not sure of the answer, don't worry, I'll help you out and I'll walk you through it. But remember, we're all friends here, and we all want to learn. But from time to time, I will probably just start calling people in class to kind of contribute. Yeah, so thank you, Zoe. So definitely that's false, because if you were to let a equal a negative number and work it out, the output's going to be 7. Now, the square root of numbers are always positive. It does not, the square root of 4 is not -2. Now, if you have x squared equals 4, absolutely you're going to say plus or minus 2, because x could hold 2 values. But when you square root just in general a number, it's always positive. The reason why is that the square root of x, if you were to graph that, if you were to graph y equals root x, it looks like this. And it has to be a function. It has to pass the vertical line test. So there's only one output. The output's only positive. So instead, the correct answer has to be the absolute value of a. So it always comes out as being positive. This is a thing that a lot of people kind of mix up a little bit. And it kind of plays a role in calculus of some of the answers we have to provide. So it has to be the absolute value of a. So I want to make sure we have that discussion. Any questions about 8? No? 9, 10. 9, 10 are also false. They're very similar to 3, 4, 5. The reason why is because square root is like an exponent. And right below, we talk about radicals and exponents. It's like saying 25 plus x squared raised to the 1/2 power. Well, I can't distribute that exponent, so why can't I say 5 plus x? That's not true. And plus, you give a counterexample and you prove it false. Likewise, a 10, same reason. 11, I see this mistake happen sometimes in algebra classes. The 2 is not distributive. It's just 2 times x times y, that's all. If you did have a plus in the lower minus middle, then sure, go ahead and distribute it. Great, but we don't. And of course, 12 is true. Distribute the minus, and that's what you get. Okay. 13, 14. So this is the lazy way of writing an answer when you have a non-linear inequality. You don't want to do that. Instead, what you want to do is probably bring all terms to one side and factor. Now, hopefully you guys are comfortable with sign charts. But if you do a sign chart, and if you test various values, like say, 3 right here, and 0, and -3, and throw it back into this, obviously if I plug 3 in, I get a positive output, negative output, and then positive output. And because I want to be less than 0, I want the negative output. That's what answers between -2 and 2. So that's actually the proper way to actually solve it, is using a sign chart. And sign charts are going to be a big deal in this class. So we'll talk a lot about that. For 14, actually this person got it incorrect. It was supposed to be x is less than or equal to -3, or x is greater than or equal to 3. And it's kind of the same thing, is that, it's like saying x squared minus 9 is greater than 0. You factor x minus 3, x plus 3, and of course, do your sign chart, and you find that it's going to be on the outer ends, right? The outer ends will be our answer for that one. 15, so the person who did this correctly. You do want to be very, very comfortable with writing fractional exponents and radicals. You need to be very interchangeable, because we're going to be doing a lot of that stuff. So we're doing something called derivatives. Derivatives are a mechanical technique in calculus. It helps you essentially find a rate of change. And we'll go over that process down the road. But the algebra, the stuff you did in Algebra 2 and pre-calculus, it's got to be second nature now. You cannot think too hard about it. You got to just quickly know, yeah, 5th root of x squared is x to the 2/5 power, and then be able to work with this. Or if you see something like this here and you need to rise a radical, you got to be able to move quickly. So that's why we had this. I don't really see this being an issue, just something I just had to make sure you guys were fine with. So that's 15 and 16. We just have a few more minutes left. Let me kind of go back to the actual summer assignment. And let's talk about, what should we talk about? Let's talk about this stuff here. 25 through 30. Why did I have you guys do this? I had you guys do this because, well, first of all, I didn't make this document. I think Mrs. Blanford did, or someone else many years ago. But why do we have you do this? And why do I like having you do this? I really want to make sure you understand how these functions look. If you're going to be doing calculus with this stuff, you have to understand graphically how these behave. Because then it just makes the calculus that much more challenging. So if you need a graph in your calculator, Desmos, go ahead, I don't care. But like when you see 4 minus x squared, I want you to instantly recognize that, oh yeah, it has a y-intercept of 4 and it opens down. It has this kind of shape. And this shape is important because notice how the graph is increasing and then decreasing. Like if I drew a tangent line here, that's a tangent line of a positive slope. If I drew a tangent line here, that's a tangent line of a negative slope. I need to make sure that you understand how the green curve looks so you can apply calculus principles to it. And also realizing, oh yeah, there is no restriction on the domain. The domain here is all real numbers. And we write all real numbers like this. So we have to really embrace the interval notation. My range obviously is limited. It goes from negative infinity to 4, and 4 is included. Very good. But when we see something a little more restrictive, like case number 30, obviously 4 minus x squared has to be non-zero. Has to be non-negative. Graphically, it looks like this. X-intercept is negative 2 and 2, y-intercept of 2, and it's a semicircle. So there is a restricted domain and range here. The domain is between negative 2 and 2, inclusive. The range is from 0 to 2, also inclusive. So that's also going to be important that we understand what's going on here. So I think that's pretty much what I want to do. So I'm glad I didn't spend the whole time talking about the summer assignment, because I'm glad we spent 20 minutes getting to know each other. I'm glad I went over the policies. I think that was important. But we will meet individually to talk about this. Starting on Thursday, we are going to get into the calculus right away. We are going to start 2.1. So do download the notes. But for homework for now, just watch my introduction video, answer my Google form, upload your own video. I'm not going to be doing any calculus work just yet. You guys are getting back in the swing of things. I don't want to all of a sudden, oh my God, I got so much homework now. I'm going to try to ease you guys into it. But there is going to be calculus homework that you'll do over the Labor Day weekend for sure. And even though we do have Labor Day on Monday, I still want you guys watching videos also. So I am going to put some work up there for you guys. So I didn't have time to do quite a quick checkout. So that's okay. We can do that another time. Let me stop the recording.